got it right. I cut the music off a little bit early, so you didn't hear the last few seconds of the intro. And if you have never heard it before, I'll play it for you again sometime. And you can watch. William Grant is watching somewhere on Facebook. Good evening, William. And this is a makeup of the 10 a.m. broadcast that I had planned for this morning, but I couldn't do because life is one of those things that doesn't always go planned. Sometimes you're having a baby and you think that you have another month to wait. And the babies say no. Actually, the babies say no. And they decide to come their way. And I don't know what else happens, but sometimes things don't always go according to your plans. We are live on my profile on Facebook, and we are live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. You can join me there. The theme of tonight's broadcast is if you have something to say, here's your opportunity to say. And by what I mean, if you have something to say, well, I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel anyway, so I'm not going to start watching him anyway. I will say something nice about Jimmy Kimmel, that if you watch The Voice and he does the voice impressions, or if you've ever seen him do impressions of music people, they are spot on, fantastic. But he's in all kinds of hot water for saying something on his talk show, and ABC said suspended indefinitely, and that only lasted a week. And Sinclair Broadcasting said not going to be on anymore. We're going to run news in that time slot, and then said yesterday, nope, he'll be back on next week. So that lasted a week. Next Star has not decided what they're going to do yet, but from what I understand, Next Star is up for sale to Tegna, and they're probably waiting for Tegna to decide what they want to do. So, personally, and this is probably going to upset a lot of people, if people said something stupid and you think they deserve to lose their job, maybe they did. But the reality is that if you said something stupid, they think you should lose your job. And I don't want to see anybody lose their job, period. Really. I don't. Why? Because it's your livelihood. So everybody just got to kind of come together and deal with what is on our plates. And Charlie Kirk was a great guy, but if you didn't think Charlie Kirk was a great guy, I'm sorry. Lots of groups on Facebook that think Charlie Kirk is a great guy. Lots of groups on Facebook that think Charlie Kirk is a bad guy. So you have to decide for yourself what you want to feel, what you want to think, and you go from there. I'm kind of, I think he was a great guy. I think he could carry a conversation on with someone who thought he didn't like them, and not only show you that he liked you, but listen to what you had to say. He would correct you if you were wrong. I watched one from Oxford University where he offered £1,000 to the first person in attendance that could tell him, a United States citizen that was deported from the U.S. And someone said Abrego Garcia, and he said, no, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, we have to work together, really. Russia and Ukraine, you've been battling this thing out for 20 years. You got to figure it out. Okay, it isn't Russia. You get to take everything that you won and leave Ukraine defenseless and penniless. And I don't know what to blame on Ukraine, but there's probably something to blame on Ukraine. You guys have been doing this thing for 20 years. Figure it out and go on with the world. Some of you want to believe that the end of the world is coming any one of these days. If you want to believe that, go ahead and believe it. Really. If it gets you through the day to think that the world is going to come crashing to an end one of these days, go ahead. I don't really want to spend my time thinking about that. Why? Because I'm here and I'm having a really good time being here. Sometimes it doesn't look like it, but I'm not ready to either lay in a box forever or be ashes in an urn somewhere, or whatever happens to you when you die. I'm just happy to be here. When God wants me, God will take me. If God doesn't take me, I got to do something to make him want to take me. But I believe that relatives of mine and friends of mine are up there, and some are waiting for me to show up and be there. My best friend through junior high, and I don't remember if it was part of Facebook. Part of high school. Carter Lipscomb evidently passed away in February, and I didn't find out about it until about a month ago. And sad about it. He was a great guy. He really was. I wrote him once and asked him to help me out, and I won't say what, but he helped me out, and it was much better than I thought it was going to be, and I really appreciate that. And he was so busy all the time. He was one of those people that you write a couple of sentences to, and you just sit back and wait for the response, because they're so busy that that eventually they will see it and eventually they will write back. And he always did. But this one time, he didn't. Yeah. I hope he's having a great time where he is. I know that he's up there with his mother and his father and his grandmother. And I can remember a sort of funny, we should have gotten in trouble for it, that he and I got into his grandmother's Volkswagen one day, and we were going to go for a ride. Neither one of us had our driver's licenses, and he went to back up, and he ran over someone's bike. I don't remember. It was one of his brothers. And we didn't know what to do. So we parked it as best as we could, and we didn't tell a soul. And unfortunately, his grandmother, who was up there in years, I believe she was in her 80s at the time, ended up losing her driver's license because her son, Carter's father, thought that she had run over the bike. And I know that his grandmother was looking down on me and going, boys will be boys. And I took the blame. And I love you anyway. But, those things that you do for the people that you love. But tonight is a chance for anybody who wants to be on the YouTube channel, Boogie with the Bull, or my profile, to come in and say what is on your mind. And if no one does that, I understand. But if no one does that, then we'll probably end about 7:30, because I'm kind of all over the place, and I don't want to say anything to upset people tonight. I did tell you that Jimmy Kimmel should be off the air for a little bit longer, I think. The View is always going to be The View. And now you have a reason to add Jimmy Kimmel. But you know what? Hollywood is Hollywood. They're going to do what they're going to do. And the Democrats are going to do what they're going to do. And we're going to do what we're going to do. And we indicted former FBI Director James Comey. And we're probably hoping that he's going to sing like a bird and bring a whole lot of other people into the spotlight. And maybe President Trump will be around and the Pam Bondi Justice Department will be around for a while, and they'll have a chance to go after and spank the Democrats. And then, if we lose in 2028, they're going to turn around and spank us. They're not going to let it go. And I said to someone yesterday that we really need to pull the politics out of the House, out of the Senate, out of the Supreme Court. It shouldn't matter if you're on the Supreme Court and you're a Democrat or a Republican. You're an American citizen, and your job is to interpret the Constitution. Was it used the right way or was it used the wrong way? That's all. That's all you do. Judges can't make decisions. If you're in California, you can't make a decision that goes into New York. You just don't have that right. SB 771 in California, it goes after social media companies that make $100 million a year. And for anyone that California doesn't like, the Democrats, because they're the majority, so you have to figure it's the Democrats right now, they can fine Facebook $500,000 if Facebook continues to beam you. Well, actually, they can fine you the $500,000. If you do it again intentionally, they can fine Facebook $1 million. They're not coming after you. They're not coming after me, because that would be too hard and tie them up in court. And they know most people don't have $500,000 or $1 million or whatever dollars. They're not fining me because of my content that they don't like. They will fine Facebook for my content that they don't like. And they'll take it one further. They'll try to do it anywhere. Any social media company that makes $100 million a year, if they have some content that says, I don't like what Governor Newsom did, or I don't like, what's going on in San Francisco or whatever, he can throw a fine at you. No, it's not how America works. But if it is, if the FCC says, okay, they can turn off your algorithm at Facebook, you're no longer in California. Great. But California's not going to stop there. They're not going to stop until they can turn you off everywhere. And the biggest thing that came out of yesterday's broadcast was me saying he can fine a social media company that makes over $100 million, $500,000 or $1 million every time, whatever they decide. But I watch Facebook in Florida. I don't like a lot of things Governor Newsom says. Can I fine him $500,000 every time can I fine him $500,000 and then turn around and fine him $1 million for every time I see something in Florida that he does that I don't like? I mean, this whole thing needs to stop. If you want to be the president of the United States, go out and prove to people that you are worthy of being the president of the United States. That's what Trump did, and he got elected. He's done at the end of this term. You're not running against Donald Trump. You're running against whoever thinks they're qualified in their party to get the nomination and then run. Same thing with your party. You're running against everybody else to try to get the nomination and then run against the Democrat. And then when it's time to vote, it's the Republican against the Democrat. Can we stop this? Really? If Joe Blow is the best person and I'm not, then Joe Blow should be the president. That's simple. People on the other side, people on Threads and on Instagram are climbing all over me because I say, if you don't like what he does, that's okay. But if you get mad at everybody else for saying he didn't do what they accuse him of doing, which has happened to me a lot, 50, 100, on one case, 10,000 people like the post on, I don't remember if it was Threads or Instagram, but they both feed each other. And nobody said, hey, you're a Republican douchebag, you should go away. And I didn't say to anybody, you're a Democrat douchebag, you should go away. I just want to turn on my computer and look and see what's there. And if I got something to say, I want to say it. Why? Because the Democrats think they have all the rights to say whatever they want to say. I mean, the meta monopoly, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram was put together for them. But there's not just them. There's us. Good evening, Karen Joinson. You're also watching on Facebook. But, why can't people just work it out, break bread, agree to what they agree to, and agree to what they don't agree to, and then start working on the things that they don't agree with, and then soon they'll realize they actually agree. And I'm sure I got people on Facebook, because I don't know if it went to Threads or Instagram. I'm sure I got Democrats and others upset when I said, he is Trump. He didn't promise you a rose garden. I'm sure people took that to, he didn't promise you a rose garden at the White House. But that's not what I meant. I was singing the song, he never promised you a rose garden, when I wrote that. But he didn't. But by the same token, you can't be mad at him for putting up the $200 million to build something that Democrat and Republican presidents have wanted for 150 years and haven't been able to figure out a way to do it because they didn't want citizens to be taxed for it. He found out a way to do it. Some money from him and some money from other people. And now, on the other side of the aisle, they want to be mad because he did what you asked him to do, or what they asked him to do. And then I heard yesterday somebody thinks that he should clean out the White House of everything he's ever done at the White House and the living quarters. And maybe take it with him. Well, so should every other president that lives there. At the end of your term, clean out what you did and move along. Hillary Clinton thought that was such a great idea when she was first lady that she took to China. Everybody knows that. So don't tell me that I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. But she took to China. Other people have taken the furniture. So my honest belief, and this will piss off a lot of people, my honest belief is that the president of the United States shouldn't live at the White House. The White House should be an office building where the top people of government work, and the president can live wherever the president wants to live in the country, but it shouldn't be the White House. The Secret Service can protect your house just as good, I guess. I hope. I know it's tough. I mean, I'm sure my neighbors wouldn't want the Boeing jet Air Force One and the helicopter Marine One, taken off at all hours of the day, or the helicopter, because that's what I think is at the White House, and then they go to Joint Base Andrews. But they wouldn't want the helicopter taken off all day long. I wouldn't want the helicopter taken off all day long. It's going to wake them up. But at some point, we allowed to take over for us. And now, some of us on our side of the aisle are in a spot where we don't want that anymore. And what's going to come out, I think, through James Comey and John Bolton getting indicted next, and I don't know who's next in line after them, they're going to sing because they don't want to go to jail for a long time if they face jail for a long time. They don't want to be executed because treason is an executable crime, so they don't want to be executed. And if it's going to become a big fight of Republicans nail a bunch of Democrats who committed treason, then I'm sure the Democrats, if they come into power in 2028, are going to turn around and do the same thing. Nail Republicans. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. People tell me all the time, the death penalty. The death penalty was created to make people stop doing something that they do. And in this case, kill people. And Erica Kirk decided that she does not want the death penalty for Tyler Robertson. She has her reasons, I'm sure. And the judge has leniency, can do whatever he or she wants to do. And it doesn't stop the killing, because the next guy or gal has already planned their shooting, planned the location, bought the guns, bought the ammo. They've already planned to do it. Decided whether or not they were going to kill themselves doing it. Because if it stopped, if we, just as an example, put Tyler to death, the next person is going to go, oh, wait, I'm going to be put to death if I do this. Maybe they think about it. Again, why can't they break bread with whoever they're angry about? Talk about what they agree on. Talk about what they can't agree on. Maybe they don't agree on anything. I don't know. But that seems to be what we need to do. I'm not listening to people who are saying Israel's guilty, or this country is guilty, or that country is guilty, or this one may be a man. I don't care about any of that. We just don't get along with a lot of people that we used to get along with. And they don't get along with us. And it's not just that Donald Trump is in the White House. Really. It isn't. Okay? Democrats don't like him. That's okay. There are a lot on our side of the aisle that think Barack Obama was in the White House through his 8 years and then through Joe Biden's 4 years. And there's logs at the White House saying Joe time when he signed in, because he didn't sign in Barack Obama. He just signed in Joe time. So what happened during Joe time, I really don't know, and I really don't care. I thought Kamala Harris, as vice president, was going to be elected vice president, riding Joe Biden's coattails into the White House, and she at some point would use the 25th Amendment to get the cabinet secretaries to agree he couldn't be president, just wasn't able to be president, she would become president, complete his term, and maybe run for re-election. Obviously, if that's what it was, it didn't work because she waited until after he was booted out of the election by Democrats who make the decision that didn't want to run it. And all the Democrats, senior Democrats that had said, oh, he's a great guy and blah, 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 through all of this, were going, yeah, no, he's a bum. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We're looking at almost 7:30, and anybody else that wants to bring something up is more than welcome to bring something up. And we can go till 8 o'clock, or I rambled enough, I'm sure. And my wife and I were up early, and we were at a vendor fair, and she's tired. I get energized by sitting down and doing these broadcasts. I used to get energized when I had a radio show. If I didn't feel good, I could go through the day putting a show together, coming to do the show, and I would feel fantastic. Really. I just like doing the broadcasts. So we're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Adjust yourself accordingly. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Adjust yourself accordingly because that's Eastern too. Occasionally on Saturday mornings, there were Saturday morning Boogie Bowl. Although tonight we're doing a nighttime version of whatever it is. And here we are. So I do want to thank Karen Johnson for watching, and William Grant for watching, and anybody who is we didn't share it yet. We'll share it when we go off and send it out as a podcast if anybody wants to watch it. The whole idea was to give people an opportunity to say something, meaning that I was actually going to shut my mouth and listen to what people had to say. And then, say how I feel. Because unlike other shows that you watch, I don't tell you how to feel. I may suggest what you should do, but I don't tell you what to do. I don't want to. You need to make that decision yourself. I've always said, sit down with a blank paper and a pencil, draw a line down the center. Every time you like something, write it down. Every time you hate something, write it down. At the end of the broadcast, put a line through everything that you didn't like. Count up the number of things that you like. That's the thing you're supposed to do. It really is that easy. Somebody could come and pay me a lot of money to tell you that, but I don't want their money. Just like I don't want your money. Yes. I get to use my wife's Chromebook because mine is too old to continue doing it, and because I thought it would be funny, I guess, to spill coffee all over my brand new Windows 11 Pro laptop. And you could ask Donna, I saved and looked and squeezed every penny until she said to me, yep, you can go ahead and get it now. And it had all the bells and whistles, 15.6 inches on the screen, which was like the biggest screen you could buy right now, and 16 gigabyte of RAM, which is not the biggest you could buy, but it was enough. And I thought I had made it. And then I woke up the next day and it never came back to life. A text said it couldn't be fixed. And Donna said, you can use mine only for the broadcast. And that's pretty much what I do. Sometimes I sneak in a little something at the end of a broadcast when something's on my line and I want to look something up. But not anything that I shouldn't look up, not anything I shouldn't do. But I still use my Android 9 Chrome 103, Chromebook 3. I start to hate it because it locks up all the time. Then I go to one of my two tablets and until they start locking up all the time. And they're Android 10 and Android 11 and Chrome 140, which is the newest Chrome. And, maybe one of these days my wife will say to me again, go buy yourself what you want. And I know she will. Very smart lady. Trust her with everything. She'd come to me and say, give me $1 million for something I need to do. And if I had it, I would give it to her. Or I'd go out and get it. Hi, Robin Brunson. Thank you for watching, too. I guess I'm just kind of feeling sad because I'm 63 years old and they tell me I have Lewy body dementia and they tell me I have Parkinson's. They tell me I'm bipolar and they tell me I have macular edema and they tell me I have this. They tell me I have that. And sometimes I believe them and sometimes I don't know what I have. But I'm here when I say I'm going to be here because I want you to see that anybody can do this. And sometimes doing 5 of these things in a week is too much. I'll be the first one to tell you, sometimes 5 times a week is too much. But you got to do what you got to do. I like what I got to do. And we got some good groups for you on Facebook if you like groups and don't want to watch broadcasts. Everybody telling you everything on Facebook. We have, I used to have a list alphabeticalized, but I don't have that anymore. We have American Regulators, which is still under 200 people, I think, only because we did something stupid. We went and eliminated everybody that really needed to be eliminated, except for 150 people that we weren't sure about because we wanted to keep a base of the group going. We have that. We have my group, my favorite group, Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. It is a public group that everybody on Facebook sees. Even if they don't like it, they see it. And I tell people there's something for everybody in that group. And if there isn't, then make sure you put it in there. It's not just politics. It's not just news of the day. It's not just everything America. It is whatever comes out of our mouths because sometimes it's my mouth, sometimes it's your mouth. That's what it's there for. What else do we have? United Patriotic News. Randy Griesenbeck, Roland Hatton started it, brought me in. Then Randy Griesenbeck went on to bigger things. And Roland Hatton kind of went on to bigger things. But he pops in every once in a while and takes a look and helps me out. And I can't remember all the groups. Maybe I'll go back and put a card together. I can't remember a lot of things these days, so maybe I should start writing down just about everything and make sure I have it in front of me. I want to buy one of those 3x5 card or 3x7 note card things, spirals, that I write it down and then close it up. Then each time I sit here and do a broadcast, I can't remember exactly what I told you to do. I can open it up and read it to you. Because half the time I can't remember what I'm supposed to do. But have some great groups. I admin some great groups. Conspiracy theories and videos and memes. 2025. But if you punch that in, you'll find it. Join that group and you'll be happy because the videos are not just political. The memes are not just political. You'll find some good stuff, some fun stuff in there. Charlie Cook, look for the picture that says freedom on it. That's the group. 104 members. The last time I checked, it's a brand new group. Izzy Wilshire is running it. And it will grow. And it will grow big. And join that group. We will close with our segment where I recommend and tell you things to watch. Michael Anthony, go to his page, watch his bits of wisdom, look for his broadcasts, even the old ones. You will learn something. Or maybe you won't, but I think you will. The Jim Price Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. if you live on the East Coast. It's a little different everywhere else, but if you're on the East Coast, it's 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Who else? The American Rebellion, a bunch of guys and some gals that just talk about anything and everything. And sometimes you learn something. And I don't know. Sometimes you just have fun sitting back. But who else? I can't think of anyone else. If I left you out, let me know, and I'll make sure you're on the list. And if I did, then I guess we're okay. But anyway, now it's 38 minutes. So we're going to end for tonight because I can't think of anything else to tangent into. Let's see. We talked about Jimmy Kimmel and what I think is wrong on that end. And we figured out how to bring world peace about. And someone can remind me because I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. But anyway, I want to thank Robin Brunson for watching somewhere on Facebook, Karen Johnson for watching somewhere on Facebook, and William Grant for watching somewhere on Facebook. If you watch the American Rebellion, they're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. So you have time, Eastern, so you have time to switch over and catch them. Someone just sent me a message that said, my first show back tonight at 9 p.m. Ray Feggins, William Rayfield, and the Patriots Lab will be on tonight at 9 p.m., and he's out of Tennessee, so I don't remember the exact time zone, but it's 9 p.m. on whatever time zone Tennessee is in. And y'all know Ray. Most of you like him. I don't know anybody who doesn't. Patriot puts out like the Patriots Lab. Actual and factual. He will be back tonight in his brand new studio because he moved at 9 p.m. Tennessee time, so make sure you watch him. And if you miss it because you're in bed, make sure you watch it anyway. We should have dream vision, maybe. So when you lay down and you're closing your eyes, you can say, I want to watch this one, I want to watch this one, I want to watch this one. And sometimes instead of dreams, you might be able to watch whatever it is you want to watch. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but anyway, that's my idea. 41 minutes after, I think I've done enough. I think I've told you enough. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, you can watch me, Randy, sometimes a few others do Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine. On Fridays, we call it Red Friday morning caffeine because we salute the men and women of the military, the men and women of ICE, the men and women of the National Guard, the men and women of law enforcement, both on the state level and throughout the state. And we do it because they have a tough job to do. And they really do. You know, I guess they're in trouble because one picked up a lady and carried her away from where she was interfering and may have body slammed her. Of course, you know, you're watching a video and someone says body slam and you can't tell how hard someone was thrown. And evidently the lady had gone where she shouldn't have gone and said, I'm a candidate for office and I think I have a right to be here. And the answer was no, you really don't. Tom Homan said, if you get in the way, we will arrest and detain you. So why do you get in the way? If you don't like what people do, stand a safe distance away and protest all you want. That's what Tom has said. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. It's going to end up being an hour if I do. But watch around for what Tom says. You know, our side of the aisle seems to say we didn't invite a billion illegal immigrants here. We really didn't. And Chuck Schumer, you should listen to President Trump and you should go to hell if your idea is that you are going to fight President Trump and anybody else, and you're going to have a government shutdown if we do not give illegal immigrants free health care. Because we have American citizens that don't have health care. So why should we give it free to illegal people here that have no interest in being legal here? Because if they became legal here, they might get it. But I doubt that they're going to get it free, because free isn't free. Somebody has to pay for free. Okay? Somebody does have to pay for free. It's not just free. So maybe Chucky should work on finding out a way that healthcare can be free for American citizens, and then say, oh, by the way, you should include these people. But I don't think anybody's going to agree with him. You know, 49 years between New York politics, the House and the Senate, 74 years old, maybe it's time for him to step aside and go. Don't get me started on Adam Schiff. I don't know how old he is. But he screwed America in the House, and I was trying to screw America in the Senate. And on that note, it's 45 minutes after we started, so it's time to wrap this one up. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. I'm here, and Randy is here. And Tuesday, Thursday, Randy and I are here, and always open to anybody else. You can either come into the live chat on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel or my profile and say, please, can I have the link? And most of the time you'll get it. You can come on, have some fun, say what you want. You might get interrupted by me. You might get cut off by me. That's the number one complaint, and I apologize for it, but that's the way I am. So I think we have hit the end of it. So we will hit this one.